Hi guys, there's no stopping. Let's continue with where we were. So previously we went through the features of orchestrator functions. So currently what we're gonna do is jump straight up into what do you call into control timing in durable functions. So as we mentioned previously, do not use thread.sleep, rather use durable timer to do the actual activity that you have or that you'd want to implement while with this sleep logic that you'd want to use. The timer has limitations that a message from a timer that has expired will only be enqueued at the expiry time, right? So this is the main limitations that we have. Example code for delays and timeout. So there's code here that we're gonna look into. After the previous video, I think I got super what do you call uh, affected by what I displayed to you guys. So this time around, I'm making sure that I uh, don't display anything wrong. I make sure that my tabs are set up accordingly. So cool. So this is basic logic of a usage of a delay. So you have an orchestrator trigger there coming in, then you have a current time, then you have time spent. So this thing here is a deadline of 1 day. If you look at the time spent that they're setting, there is a deadline of 1 day. Then they create a timer. So on the context, so on the orchestrator functions context, basically here they're creating what you call a timer for 1 hour. So that timer will run for 1 hour. Say for example, if it happens, then it will execute the activity action called send bill event. Cool. Then this is a timeout type of implementation. So what this code is doing is it has a deadline set up similar to the function above. Then here they call a task, so they call an activity called get quotation. And after get quotation, what they do here, they create a timer with that, and that has a token. There's a cancellation token essentially that is assigned to that deadline as well. So task.winner is equals to await task.when activity task, which is that get quotation and timeout. So that would wait. If you get a cancellation token, it will automatically cancel. Otherwise, if a deadline hits, it will then create whatever outputs that we anticipate. So here it shows you that the winner is equals to activity task. So if the activity task actually what you call executed or we have a proper response, then you write your success code. Otherwise, you know that's the timeout case. So that's what the code there does. Then here they say use a cancellation token source to cancel durable time or call cancel method uh, on the return timer task. That's the JavaScript version or equivalent of calling what you call cancel token source in .NET. So the equivalent is the cancel function on the task, time task essentially. Julio. Then now on the next topic, we talk about send and wait for events. So wait for event, orchestrator functions can wait and listen for external events. This feature is useful for human interactions. So remember when you send, let's say, an approval to your supervisor and they have to approve this task, then you start executing the work. So you need to wait for that particular supervisor to actually what you call approve or do whatever actions that's needed before the orchestrator can decide what to do. So that's that. So there's a couple of methods that you can use to wait for events. That's wait for external event. That's the function there. Then here it says wait for external event. So this looks the same to me. Then there's wait for external event. Again, methods on the extra orchestrator on the orchestrator trigger binding to asynchronously wait and listen for external events. So this, I think it's a different languages. This would be C#. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that one is as well. Orchestrator declares the name of the event and the shape of the data expected, right? So you specify that I'm waiting for this event to happen in approval, say for example, and on the approval, I want this type of data to come through, right? So if you want to send an event, let's say for example, you'd call the method raise event or raise event. I think this is a Python version of it actually, if I remember well. Cool. Then you'd call the RaiseEventAsync to send events that wait for external events. What you call external event waits for. So if in my orchestrator I have wait for event, then maybe I'll have another function when the supervisor approves, it will go to this function, this activity function or durable function will then call this raise event. This raise event will send a message to the orchestrator. Raise event method takes event name and the event date. So all of these are defined as a JSON structure as parameters. Orchestrator uses built-in memory to queue this thing. Coolio. Next up will be API management. So excited that we are moving quite well. There's still a lot to cover. I'm not sure if I'm gonna hit the target for my exam, but yeah, let's see how it goes. Thank you very much, guys.